It's been more than 6 months now, and I'm sure that you've seen in the press, there's been a lot of discussion 6 months onwards how Houston is coping with a historic storm that dropped 33 trillion gallons of water, devastating our region and untold lives across the Gulf Coast. For anyone who lived through it, Harvey in and of itself was a once-in-a-lifetime event, something not easily forgotten. But given that the storm was immediately followed by Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Maria, Harvey's devastation and lasting effects have fallen somewhat from national attention. And that's exactly why today's discussion is so important. Hurricane Harvey demonstrated that our industry's response and recovery is about more than one storm, one sector, or one region. It's about an interconnected industry of critical infrastructure that provides products that are the lifeblood for countless other segments of the economy. We know that at some point the next storm is coming, and we need to be continuously improving, enhancing, and preparing. That's what our industry is all about, continuous improvement. Today, about 70% of U.S. petrochemical manufacturing is located along the Gulf Coast. To put that in perspective, there are 1,600 chemistry facilities in this region alone. And like the technology that comes from Silicon Valley or the cars that come from Detroit, the products we make here are important for the entire economy, both in the U.S. and around the world. One of the most widely used chemicals we make on the Gulf Coast is ethylene, a basic building block for an untold number of products that billions of people around the world use every day. Consider this, 95% of our country's ethylene production takes place right here on the Gulf Coast. And according to IHS, over 50% of this capacity was knocked out during the storm. This ethylene outage during Hurricane Harvey impacted the manufacturing of other products, including high-density polyethylene, which is used around the world in applications ranging from water bottles to medical devices and a variety of consumer goods. And while our first and overriding priority will always be the safety of our employees and communities, we also know that if products like ethylene or gasoline were to stop flowing for an extended period of time, the ripple effect of a superstorm will be felt well beyond the borders of Texas and Louisiana, impacting the lives and livelihoods of people around the world. For instance, by one estimate, the buyers of some of our products can only operate for about 2 weeks before exhausting their inventories, meaning that the makers of medical devices, apparel, construction materials, transportation products, and so many other industries would feel the impact of a prolonged outage. In short, a storm like Harvey doesn't just hit us, it hits the people who depend on us. At LyondellBasell, we have approximately 8,100 employees and contractors working every day at 9 production facilities and on 1,400 miles of pipeline along the Gulf Coast. As an industry, we collectively employ about 80,000 men and women in the state of Texas, and our industry's economic activity supports over 335,000 other jobs throughout the state. As an industry, we understand the enormous responsibility to get back up and running safely and quickly. And in the aftermath of a disaster, we also understand our responsibility to contribute to the recovery efforts. In the days after Hurricane Harvey, members of the ACC and the TCC contributed nearly $40 million to charitable organizations to assist in the recovery from the storm. And today, I'm proud to announce that ACC is donating $25,000 or $1,000 for every individual speaker, panelist, and moderator in today's event to be split between 2 local charities, the Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund, established by Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner and Harris County Judge Emmett to aid recovery efforts, and the Huntsman Food Fund, established to help the Golden Triangle region recover. So please, a round of applause for them. As I look around the room today, I'm struck by the fact that many of us are competitors. But today, our focus is sharing learnings and best practices. So together, as an industry, we can further enhance the safety and reliability of our operations. And by extension, we can better serve our communities, our customers, and end markets. For those who may not be as familiar with our industry, I think that one of our best traits is that we're constantly looking for ways to learn from what went wrong and what went right and improve. This is evidenced by the fact that companies participating in the ACC's Responsible Care Initiative have reduced their recordable injury and incident rate by 81% since 1990. And in 2016 alone, about half of the ACC member sites reported no process safety incidents at all. Today's event brings together in one discussion some of the brightest minds in our industry and in our government to share lessons learned from Harvey so that our communities and our companies are better prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead. Hurricane Harvey was not the first test of our resilience as Houstonians and Texans. It was not the first test faced by our industry or by our communities, and it will not be the last challenge we face either. But the worst disasters can bring out the best in people, especially when we are willing to work together. Thanks to all of you for joining us today for this important discussion about the future of our industry and the future of our communities. Thank you.